Hello everyone, Shawn, Kenney here, playing some more Kerbal Space Program, and today is 0.22. It's it! See? Look on the bottom right, 0.22, it's here. Finally, we have science. The science update is here. The new research and development, starting a real career mode. Oh, I've been waiting for this for so long. So we're going to start a new game, and here we go. We have the option for sandbox, which is just like standard Kerbal Space Program. The old save is still there. I can still go and play it, but it's basically going to be a sandbox mode where all the parts are unlocked, and any science there's not going to be unlocking anything. But that's no fun. We want to start from the beginning and work our way up, researching new technologies. So let's get this career mode started. What say you? All right. Oh, do I want to overwrite it? I better, I'm going to rename it. Not that I'm probably going to do much with the previous save, but who knows? Why not? Let's call this one Science! Alright, oh, we need an exclamation mark, because it's awesome. Science. Alright. So, there's been a few updates, and right off the bat, as you can see, there is we now have a Research and Development Center. Alright, so this is going to be the tech tree, and we have absolutely no tech as it is right now, and we have no science. These are going to be the available, I guess these are parts that I'm going to have to unlock, and requires start. We're going to need 5 science. There's not enough research. Okay, so we're going to have to get our first bit of our first rocket up and a little bit of research going so that we can get some science gathered. Now, one of the other big updates in this one is now we can have sub-assemblies. Now, that should be in here somewhere. Maybe I need to get a bit of a start on a rocket. But what that's going to allow us to do here is, if I can find it, sub-assemblies. Alright, so if I make, say, a lander or a booster stage, I could save that as a sub-assembly. All I have to do is drag the whole lot in there, and then I can save it as a sub-assembly. So I can create my big asparagus stage booster, save that, put it in the sub-assembly, so I won't have to redesign that, figure out all the staging every single time, especially if I'm building it regularly, if I'm going to be using that type of design booster for multiple different rockets. I want different payloads on them. It's going to make it a lot easier to swap out and just drop in some pre-created parts. So for example, a lander, if I wanted to add a lander to a larger ship, and I had a predefined, I was working on a lander before, I could just put that in the sub-assembly, and then I can attach that on. Now, what do we have a real limitation on parts. So we're going to start, we have the Mark 1 command pod, we have some solid boosters, a little rocket, the small tanks, okay, nothing under there, some basic metal girders, a parachute. Well, I guess we better get the parachute on. That's going to be the first thing. Science, alright, so I guess with these antenna, this is how we're going to be. There's 2 ways to get science back to your research center. Either return the capsule safely to Kerbin and then recover it, at which point you can collect all the science that you've collected on that mission, or you can attempt to transmit it to Kerbin, transmit the data. Now, transmission is going to cost power, and as you can see by the absolute lack of just about every part here, we don't have any solar panels, we don't have any nuclear power generators, not even the most basic solar panel do we have available. So the only power power is going to be playing a much more important role in our future missions, because transmission costs power. You only have so much power on the module. Now, you will generate power while burning the engines, so that's a key point. I think what I'm going to try and do initially is fire launch, and then maybe I'll collect some data first on the launch pad, just sort of the basic stuff that we can do as far as science. We'll try launching, transmitting the data as we launch, so we're generating power, sort of get as high as we get, maybe do another report, and then we'll land safely, I hope. So I'm going to make like the most basic little rocket here, because we don't have any separatrons, we can't separate the staging at all. I mean, I could definitely make this a much bigger ship and be able to go a little bit further. My main worry is that with only one little parachute on there, I don't know how. I want to get the command pod safely back, right? Of course. So, I guess we might as well start out. What are we going to call this one? The Mark 1 Death Rocket. Because there's a very high probability that this is going to end in the death of whatever Kerbal launch gets into it. So we might as well save that. Let's prepare for a launch. Our very first launch in 0.22. Let's head on to the launch bay while it loads up. Here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. We can see the Research and Development Center off in the background. I better not get Jeb out, because I realized I don't have any ladder. I have no way for him to get in. But we should be able to do a few things here. Yes, crew report. All right, so that's going to be the start of our science. You record the crew's assessment of the situation. All right, well, just sitting on the launch pad, there's not a whole lot to it. Scientific value 1.5. Now, I could transmit it now, and that would take a good chunk of our power, but that doesn't really seem like. I mean, I guess we're going to be firing the engines. I guess we can give it a try. So I can either keep the data or discard the data. I guess we'll keep the data. I don't know. I'm not sure whether. Okay, I don't have any more crew reports. Is that it? I'm still not quite sure on. Oh, review report. Okay, so that's obviously. I guess that would be the. I could either discard it. I don't really want. Can I just close this? I either have to keep. Okay, I'll keep it. Can I take more data? More crew report? Overwrite existing crew report. No, let's not do that. So I've still got a lot of. I've literally been waiting all day. I heard it was coming out today, so I'm at work, and I just couldn't wait to hop in and try this out. So the other thing that has experienced a little bit of an upgrade is the SAS. Now, what happens is it's still working basically the same way as you can have it on, you can still turn. It's going to give us some indication, though, that right now when this is on, it's on automatic. When I try and move and the SAS is on, that's going to go sort of an orange color, and that's going to basically say that the SAS is still on, but it's accepting user input. So apparently it's a really big improvement, but I've been stalling long enough. We have a crew report. He's on the launch pad. Let's fire our engines and blast off. Oh, that was not. I didn't. Oh yeah, I have everything staged all together. So, well, all right, Jeb. Well done. I guess now that let's open the door a bit. I guess you can do an EVA while you're out here. Mine as well. Electrical charge. We're losing electrical charge. No, I don't want to extend. Why are we slowly losing electrical charge? Oh, probably because I have the SAS on. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to really watch that. Okay, so let's try doing an EVA. And because there's different types of science we can do as well. Once we're out, we can do an EVA report. And of course, you didn't really think it was necessary. So, I mean, I guess I could try transmitting it for 50% science value, but there is you need to be inside a ship. So that's not really. Let's yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do the EVA. Let's keep that data, and then we'll take a surface sample. Is charred and coat with burnt rocket propellant. Okay, cool. So we can keep that, I guess. No point planting a flag. not the most auspicious start to our rocket program, but we should be able to get in and board. And now, all right. So we now have more science. Review stored data 2. Cool. So EVA from Launchpad, surface EVA report. So I wonder if one of them overwrit some of the data? I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to do a little bit more experimenting and learning how the science works exactly. But what we'll want to do right now, let's go. You can. Let's save. No, I don't want to. Why can't I save it? Oh. See, if I want to go to the Space Center, we'll keep it. Okay, maybe if I go to... Oh, I'm throttled up, that's why. We got no engines, but I am throttled up. So let's resume the flight. Let's throttle down. Kill engines. Space Center. Okay, there we go. So we should be able to get our scientific data now. Let's have a look. I'll go to our tracking station. It's just me, that thing, it's all looking so much better. Not only did they add science, but it seems like, I don't know, a little more definition in the mountains? I don't know. It's definitely looking good, though. I'm liking it. Okay, so we have our little rocket. Let's recover it. We recovered. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we have 4 experiments that we recovered. Crew report from the launch pad. That was 1.5 science, and not a whole lot, but you know what do you expect. A surface sample from the launch pad. Surprisingly, we got 9 science out of that. An EVA report from the launch pad, 2.4 science. So even a little bit more detailed information than the crew report. And recovery of the vessel, 5 science. Excellent. So that was a good haul, I'd say. So we can cover that. Let's head back. And we'll check out our research and development lab here. Okay, and now we should be able to buy something. So I don't know whether you just unlock this branch and we get all these parts. I guess that is. Yeah, okay. So just spent 5 science, unlocked the first level, so we have our first stack decoupler. This is also going to give us a mystery goo container. The FLT 100 tank and the 400 tank. So we have little larger tanks to start off with, and we've unlocked a few more branches of the tech tree. So that's another rocket. This is that's one with thrust vectoring, the Sepatron, and then those big solid boosters. Those are definitely handy. Those are, the side decoupler, some winglets, and nose cone. Or survivability. We have those little engines, landing struts, radial mounted parachutes. That's going to cost 15. We only have 12 science, so we need to go gather some more science. Let's try a Mark II of this. All right. Well, let's just start fresh. We'll get our command pod, and we'll want to get our parachute on there. All right. Now we'll want to return this, of course, to Kerbal. So let's get our Sepatron, and we're going to need to. I want to add I don't know if I'm going to transmit the data or not, but we'll have the option there. And let's get a. I'm better double up just to keep any weight issues at bay. I think I only need one of those, and I can use it multiple times and get different reports of what the goo is doing at various stages. But for balancing reasons, I want a symmetrical rocket. And now, where to start? Okay, well, these are. We have new larger rockets. Oh, look at that. Okay. And we still only have one type of rocket here. This does not have thrust vectoring, of course. So, I wonder what the best way to go about. I wonder if I can get... Should I try 2? Why not? Alright. We'll move this. And let's get another... I have an idea. Where's that stack decoupler? There it is. Okay. There it is. And then let's I'm going to do one of these. And we'll make use of those struts to see how far we can go. And we can... no, that's a little too many. There. That'll be perfect. Alright. And now... Oh yeah, there we go. This thing's gonna go. Alright. So, we don't have any struts. We have so few parts here. Let's let the, let's call this the Mark II Death Trap. And this time, let's make sure we got our staging all right. So our solid rockets are going to go. Then our first stack decoupler is going to go. Then our liquid engine is going to go. Then that, we'll be able to take care of that. And then we have the pod and the parachute in the next stage. Okay, that's fine by me. Let's save that. And let's try our second launch. We'll check out the goo on the launch pad. We'll check out the goo a few times here. Maybe we'll try doing a transmission during our launch while we're generating power. That would seem to me the most efficient way of doing it. I'm not quite sure, but let's have a look. Okay, goo doesn't seem to be doing much of anything right now. Well, yeah, why not? Let's keep that data, and I can reset the goo canister. Perfect. Okay, let's throttle up, although solid rocket boosters, throttling up's not necessarily important. There's only one speed on a solid rocket booster, and that is ignited. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to ignite. Oh, this is better. Parachute's not deploying. Now, we don't really have much control. We're literally just relying on the SAS ability of the pod itself. Let's do a jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Well, let's keep that data. And how about maybe we can do this too? A crew report. Let's try transmitting and firing our rocket. Oh, okay, we used a whole chunk of power to transmit that data of our crew report, and but we're generating power, so that's awesome. Now, you don't want to do science in the same spot, the same type of science over and over again, because you get diminishing returns, basically. Now, I guess I should probably try and get this 90 degrees where I want. Okay, so as you can see, the SAS, it's gone like that. That means it's accepting my input, and then it's gone back to standard SAS now. I don't know. This is not exactly a very good orbit, to be perfectly honest. This is a pretty shit orbit. But hey, we're learning as we go. So I think that was another. We can trash that. I think we're up in space enough now that we can. Ooh, I've just been burning like a madman, and we have like the craziest orbit. This is like not an orbit I would ever try or suggest. We're going to be going far out. But we still have a little bit of fuel. Well, I guess we might as well burn that off. And then separate. Because we're going to be returning. It's going to be all good. Oh, right, now we can do some more science. We're out in space. Let's... I could review the data. Oh, I could... If I transmit it, I'm only going to get 40% of the science value. So let's keep it. Let's clump together in a sphere and become brittle. Cool. All right. Well, we'll keep that data as well. Let's reset it and reset it. And so I better do. Let's do a crew report as well. I'm not quite sure how much data I can store. Apparently I can store a few, numerous experiments within the capsule. One thing is it's not terribly clear exactly. Now I guess, okay, I can review the report, but I think that's only for the crew report. It's not allowed. I don't see the science data from the mystery goo. So that's interesting. Let's try observing it again, and I think that still seems to be the same. Is that the same data, or maybe it's a little bit less? Whatever, we'll keep it. While we're here, though, we do have a bit of time. We can try an EVA. Let's see what Jeb wants to check out space. He just he can't help himself. So you're out in space, Jeb. What do you have to say about it? So, let's do an EVA report. Nice. Okay. EVA report from just above Kerban's water. Let's keep that data. So, we obviously can't take a surface sample, as there's no surface to sample, but that's okay. We can, oh, what a lovely view. It's hard to imagine that we're in a parabolic orbit, arc that will eventually, I mean, basically we're extremely high up, but yeah, I mean, we're a ballistic missile right now, and we get a little bit of space-time. Not a full orbit, but whatever. It's all good. In the pursuit of science, I have to admit, this is pretty exciting. All right, we've checked out space, and all is good. Jeb's enjoying it. I guess there's really not much more to do. I don't think we can do much more with the goo canisters. We've checked it when it's on the pad. We checked it while we were accelerating, and our engines were burning. We were flying through the atmosphere. So that was one data set. And then we have another data set while we're out in space in a vacuum. And I mean, I suppose I could try transmitting the data, but we do have some of that data that we would be getting basically less than we would expect. Now, you know, we know this pod's going to return, so we might as well just wait for the pod to return, and then we can recover it. Once again, throttle's up, so I can't time accelerate. So we don't have any more engines. All right, time for re-entry. Just about, I think. I think that's what we're doing. No, I don't want to be. They haven't added heat for the re-entry, so at this point, there's there are mods out there that can make it a lot more difficult. You have to re-enter at appropriate angles and have some sort of shielding. I guess maybe eventually that'll come, but oh man, right now we just have the starts of the career mode. Here we go. This pod's designed for, we'll call it a steep re-entry. Jeez, look at that. Alright. It's burning in just like a ballistic missile. Oh, we're coming down pretty damn fast, too. Oh, we're like 7,000 meters. I didn't realize we were so near the, I don't know, let's get that parachute out. And we're down to just a couple hundred meters per second. Obviously, we were going like faster than the speed of sound with that aerodynamic effects. Yeah, I know. I think that was in there before. I just don't normally see it on re-entry pods, or maybe it's part. Yeah, it ends up being part of the flames from the re-entry heat. It's hard to say, but here we are. We're just less than. Just over 1.5 miles, but yeah, we're still descending quite rapidly. It's 100 meters per second. And here we go, about 600 feet, 500 meters. And parachute deployed. Awesome. Alright, well, I don't think we'd really get much in the way of observation from the goo now. But yeah, alright, well, we can just splash down safely with any luck. I think we're just in, yeah, we're over the ocean, so should be just fine. Not anticipating any problems, so that's why I will do a little bit of time acceleration. There we go. And touchdown. Awesome. Alright, Jeb, well done. You've went out into space and successfully returned. You've checked out the goo. You poked it with a stick. Let's see what the boys in the lab have to say. Oh, I guess before the lab boys can have a look at it, we're going to have to actually go and recover it. So the Mark II Death Trap, let's recover it. And what do we got? Okay, a crew report while in space near Kerbal. Cool. EVA report from space just above Kerbal's water. So we got 8 science. Recovery of vessel. You know what? I'm not seeing any of the data from the goo. I wonder if that's the kind of stuff that we're going to have to transmit. Well, you know, science is a learning curve. Still wasn't a bust. We made 21 science on this mission. Apparently none of our data from the goo was any good, so we're going to have to try a little bit harder. I guess, oh, I have research now. We can maybe unlock the next tree. Now, one of those things is I was so excited for 0.22, I could not help watching a few videos that may have shown a few spoilers of what's out on the tech tree, and I happen to know that electricity is going to be one of those really important ones that we want to beeline towards. So I think we need to work on these two first to get up, and once I can get some basic solar panels, then you know, we're really starting to get into the territory. We're going to have some missions that go much further out into the solar system and start exploring. But I think the first bit is I want to get some landing struts and this little engine, and that will let us get onto the Mun. So I think we can get to the Mun. So let's select the survivability option. Alright, bought that. We have 22 science. The next level. Ooh, oh yeah, okay, so this is our first rechargeable battery. Not seeing solar panels though. A battery will help, but oh, and that's the Science Junior. Cool, that's one of the new parts. So that's going to be able to do more science, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to get there and find out. 22 now. I could unlock maybe that, or maybe, I mean, those nice big solid root boosters would be certainly handy for launching some ships. That's going to cost 20 science. I have 22. You know what? I'm not going to buy anything with science right now. We're going to bank it a little bit, maybe try and have a much more successful launch, I think. You know, we're on to something here with the Mark II Death Trap. It certainly has a lot of Delta V, and it might, you know, if I was actually paying attention a little bit more, it may have got us into orbit. And I think we can maybe try saving some of the fuel, doing a little bit of burn, if we need to charge some power. So it's going to take I think I'm going to do a little bit of playing around with it. But in the meantime, let's, I'm going to call this video here, this first part of the 0.22 Kerbal update, adding science, the science tree, among other things. The subassembly is definitely not, you know, that used to be a mod. So in my books, that's a fairly big update in and of itself. The fact that we're getting science as well, hey, it's a bonus. Alright, so I'm Shawn Kenney, playing Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. So long for now.